Okay, so welcome to the first Mark Up the Chart Up. I'm really excited to be doing this training. My name is Tiara. You also may know me as Lady Forex. I do a lot of the videos for the teams. And, I just love teaching this skill set. And one of the things I really love is doing charts. And I think it's very key to learn how to properly chart so that you can be a profitable trader. So the purpose of this training is to teach you the basics of marking up a chart for any currency and being able to identify the three main components of marking up a chart, which is support and resistance, market structure, and price trend. Now, all of the information that I'm going to be giving you, I may not go too in depth on any one specific topic, but there are classes in the back office. Do not sleep on the back office. It is excellent. I've been going through it, and a lot of the stuff, I know, but the classes are really good. They're really clear, and I actually started learning some new stuff going through the classes in this back office. So a lot of the support and resistance, there's a section on that. There's a section on market structure, and there's a section on price trends. Again, I'll be going over these a little bit, but not too much in detail. If you have questions, I'll feel free to ask, and I will answer them the best I can. But just know that there are classes in the back office for this. So the first thing that you should be doing is going to www.tradingview.com. This is where we're going to mark up our charts. And I'm just going to show you some basic things on where you want to find. So when you get on, you want to just click chart on the main screen. Let me go back real quick so I can show you. When you sign in, it'll look like this. Here's my name. Your name will show up here. You just want to click on chart. So now let me let some people in. Okay. And this is what your chart looks like. So let me clear all this stuff off. Okay. Okay, so this is what a basic chart looks like. This is for Nas. That's one of my favorite pairs to trade, so that's why this one is up there. But this is what it's going to basically look like. So just a couple of basic things that we're going to go over really quick. Up here in the left corner, can everybody see my screen? Let me just make sure before I continue.
Yes.
Okay,
yeah, I can see it.
Thank you. So up here in the left-hand corner is where you'll see the currency name. So just to make sure that you're on the right currency, it'll say up here. On this left column down along the side, this is where all your tools are. And these are the tools that you'll be using to do your markups on your chart. Next to the currency, you'll see the time frame. The time frames are important because the time frame represents the amount of time each candle takes to form. So let me put it on candles. Each of this candle right here, this took 1 hour to form. This candle right here took 1 hour to form, and so on and so on. So that is what the time frame means, if you're wondering what that means. So for the 4-hour chart, it took 4 hours for each of these candles to form. On the 5-minute, you can see it's a little different. It's more candles because it took 5 minutes for each of these candles to form. Next to the time frame, and in order to change it, you just pull down this little arrow right here. And if you star it, you don't have to do the drop down. It just pops up as a favorite. So I don't use 1 minute right now. So any time frames that you really like to use, I would highlight the star, and then it will put it up here in your favorites. Next to the times is the candlesticks. Now this will become important once I start going into the charting, but you can choose bars, you can choose regular candlesticks, you can choose hollow candles, you can choose Heikin-Ashi, which are my favorite. You can do a line chart, which will come in handy, and I'll show you when we start charting. So you can change it to whatever you want, okay? the tools. The first tools are up here. So this is the cross, the dot, the arrow. This is basically, I'm in the cross now, the crosshairs. If you want the arrow, you can switch to the arrow. And anything that you like to use the most, again, you can highlight the star. And what happens is it adds it to your favorite tools bar. And this is what it looks like. So below that, you have all your lines, your trend line, your vertical line, your arrows, your rays. These are other important tools that you'll be using to mark up your charts. So again, if you want to add it to your favorites bar, you just highlight the star and it'll be added. So if I take this off and I hit it back, you'll see the trend line popped up right here. So it's easier instead of you having to come over here and get it every time. You just have to come to your favorites, and you can put your favorites anywhere you want. Just grab it and drag it. I keep it down here to stay out of my way, but you can move it anywhere you want. These are the more advanced tools, so I won't be going over those today. You have the brush, the highlighters. I don't use these too much, so we probably won't go over too many. I do use the rectangle a lot, so you can find the rectangle in this category. Again, mine is highlighted because I use it all the time. And if I unhighlight it and highlight it back, it added to my bar right there. Here's where you put your text. I use the arrow marker a lot in the text, so I highlight those. So those are all my favorites. Okay, here on the right, this is all of the price levels. So this is where price is going to show. And if you see this red area highlighted, this is where price is currently at. And there's a little timer. So for every time frame, it'll have a timer. So on this one, remember I said it takes 5 minutes for each candle to form on this 5-minute chart, because that's where we're at. There's 2 minutes and 11 seconds left before this candle will be fully formed, and then the next one will start. If I change it to the 15-minute, it's still the same amount of time, but this candle has been forming for 15 minutes. We currently have 1 minute and 53 seconds left. So it counts down for you to let you know when the next candle is going to form. Okay. Are there any questions so far? I'm trying not to go too fast. I just want to make sure I cover everything. Any questions so far?
No.
All righty.
Now, Tiara, I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Who's this?
Okay. Claudette.
How you doing, Claudette?
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. So I don't know if I'm doing something wrong because I don't have my screen don't look like yours.
Okay, so what does yours look like? Can you describe it?
When I go to chart, it says unnamed, first of all, and then I see Apple Ink on the top over there where you're saying I should see numbers and times.
Okay, so what I want you to do is go to this top left corner. And I want you to type in the symbol EUR USD.
Okay,
Does a little search box come up like this?
So it says symbol search. So that's where you want me to type it out. But
yes.
Okay. Wait a minute.
And if anybody else is following along with me, they can do the same. EUR USD. And to make it easier, you can just click Forex. And then
so now it's up. It says now I can see yours.
Okay, great.
Yours. Okay.
So you good now?
I think so.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right.
So one more, listen, do I have to do the 30-day thing or should I could just wait till the
No, you should do basic. It should be an option just to sign up for the basic. The free trial is when you upgrade.
Yeah, because it keeps coming up, like asking me to
that's gonna pop up because with the free account, you get the ads. So you're gonna see that you don't see it on my screen because I have a pro account.
Okay.
I don't have a basic, so we don't get the ads. But when you have a free account, I don't even know how long it is, but every so often you'll see a little, like ads in a little message to upgrade pop up. Just click it
Okay.
out and it'll go away.
Okay.
So
Okay.
hello,
Hello,
this is Nita.
how you
Um,
doing?
I'm good. Question, over on the right-hand side where there's EUR, USD in the cloud, mine is checked. Should it be checked?
No, that doesn't matter. This is basically because this is a save chart. So that's just where
Okay.
your chart will show if you saved it.
Okay.
So you don't
Thanks.
have to worry about that.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Hi, Tiara. It's Tiffany.
Hey.
I was just letting everybody know if they have some questions too while you're teaching, I can monitor the chat for you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Awesome. So if you have any questions and I can't, or I'm in the middle of something, you can type them in the chat and she'll try and answer them. Or you can unmute if you want to. If you're more comfortable, that's fine. Somebody might have your question, so don't be afraid to ask. Somebody else might be afraid to ask. So, we want to benefit everybody. Okay, so those are the basic tools that I want to go over. I showed you how to change your candlesticks. Again, you want to come up to this little box here with the little 2 candlesticks. If you click on it, you'll get the different options and you can choose which kind of candlestick you want. I told you how to search for your currency. You come over here to the left and you type in your name. And you just want to take the first currency, EUR USD, or if it's I'm trying to think of other ones. I'm blanking, guys. If it's gold, XAU USD, and you just have to know the abbreviations for your currency, whatever you're choosing. Okay, so to add a currency to your watch list. So if you guys see this, I hit this little box with the lines. This is my watch list. And this is basically where I put all the currencies that I often trade. So I don't have to keep looking it up over here. You can save it to what we call a watch list. So in order to do that, I'm going to remove EU off of there. And EU is just short for EUR USD. We just use the first initial of the first currency and the first initial of the second currency, in case you were wondering. So let's say I just searched EU and I want to add it to my watch list. There might be another way, but the way that I know is you right click anywhere on the screen and this menu will come up. You will see the option right here to add to watch list. And I guess if you do Alt plus W, it will add as well. So let me try that. So did it add it? I didn't like it added. So let me try to add it that way. So if I hit Alt W, it should have added it as well. I might have too many on here. No, it's not adding.
See, one of the things I do is right next to the word watch list, that plus sign, I do it that way too, if you want to know
Oh, there it
another
goes.
one.
Okay, cool. So if you open up, because yours is probably going to be blank, if you hit the little box with the lines in there and you hit the plus sign, it'll add it as well. But I don't know why I said it's an add. So I guess you would just add it and then type in whatever symbol you want. So there's different ways to do, it's different ways to skin a cat. So, whichever way is easier for you, you can do the right click, go down and add it. You can do the Alt plus W and add it that way. So whatever you're more comfortable with. Okay, so I just wanted to show you some basic tools in your trading view so that you can move around. Before I go on, down here is important because this is how you're going to move your chart. So the little arrows move it forward and backwards, and the plus sign zooms you in, and the minus sign zooms you out. Okay. Also important, down here at the bottom, you will see the times. Make sure, I'm glad I did this. When you first sign up for your account, that you come over here to the lower right and make sure it is your time zone. That is important. So wherever you located, you want to make sure it's in your time zone.
So how do you get your time zone?
You will come over to the bottom and there's like a little box here with a timer. And if you click on that, you'll see the options to choose your time zone. So wherever, and like I'm New York, even though I live in Philly, You know, I'm in the Eastern time zone, which is, you know, New York. So that's why mine is New York. Okay, so that's one of the first things you want to do. When you open up the chart, you want to come down to the bottom and choose your time zone. Okay.
Actually, I have a question. I see on the USD, the price line on the right side, mine look like it's rounded up versus looking like yours like 1.21850.
That's where your price is right now.
Yeah, mine is actually rounded up to like 1.22.
I'm not sure why. It should be similar. Maybe because we're in different time zones. I'm not sure. So I couldn't really give you an answer on that.
Actually, well, I have mine on you know, your same time zone.
That's and you're on EUR USD. I wonder if it's the time zone. No, it should be a time. Yeah, I'm not sure. It could be the broker. Is yours FXCM?
Yes.
That's interesting. What kind of candlesticks do you have? The regular ones?
Yes.
I don't really have an answer for that. I'm not
Okay.
sure.
Oh, no worries. I'll
Just check your, Craig, check your settings. That's all. If you go over there to price and you right click, it'll give you a set of settings. And you could just kind of look and see if your settings are set like on countdown to bar close or regular. So you just right click on price on your right hand side. And your settings will pull up and you get a chance to add more to it. So the more you add to it, the more you'll start to see additional price on that line.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, any other questions? All right. And thank you, Tiff and Katrina, for answering the questions in the chat. So we're going to keep it moving. So the main components of marking up your chart, meaning the main things that you're going to want to mark on your chart, are support and resistance, market structure, and price trend. Now, these three things together will give you a good picture of what price is doing and will more than likely or probably will do in the future, which allows you to get in trades and better trades. Okay, so we're gonna do what we call a TDA, and that stands for top-down analysis. Again, it's a TDA, and it stands for top-down analysis. And that's basically what we do to track price so that we can get in really good trades, okay? So the first thing you want to do when you're doing a TDA is you want to check the news. The website that you want to use, now there's might be more than one, but the main one that we use is Forex Factory. So you want to go to www.forexfactory.com. And it should look like my screen. Oh gosh, can y'all see my Forex Factory?
Yes.
Okay, great. You'll see right here the currency name, the time, and these folders. So the important thing that you want to note, I think it's described below here somewhere, right here. So if you look at the legend over here on the left side, you'll notice that the red folder stands for high impact. So that means that whatever currency it is, if there's a red folder, that whatever that news is can potentially, they have a high potential impact. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that it will make a difference in the market, but it's highly anticipated. So you want to be careful. Our main advice is that you avoid trading that pair for that period of time until the news pass, so that you won't get caught in some reactions to the news. The orange folder and the yellow folder are for medium and low impact, so we don't really worry about those. The one folder that you want to really pay attention or look for is the red folder, because that's high impact. So up here, you have the time. So the next news that we have coming up will be at 3:45 a.m. And that is for the euro. And it's a orange folder, so that means it's kind of like mid impact or immediate impact. So we don't really have to worry about that. But if you wanted to know what it was about, all you had to do was click on the folder. Oh, sorry, you click on the detail over here.
Excuse me.
And they'll give you a description of who's talking, what they're talking about, and how it might impact the market. Okay, any questions so far on that? So before you mark up any chart, this is the very first thing you want to do. Go to forexfactory.com and check the news. And if you see any red folders, you want to probably stay away from that pair during that time. All right, and it's broken down by day. So it tells you all the news for the week. Okay, so once you do that, and you check your news and we're all good now, you want to go to your chart. So typically when I do a top down, I usually start at the daily, but that's just something I do. I like to mark the top, the high point and the low point of price for that day. But typically I think most people start on the 4 hour. So that's where I'm going to start. Sorry. So again, to change your time frames, you want to come up here on the left side and choose you can do the drop down and you can choose your time frame. So we want to go to the 4 hour. And it also says it up here. And I'm also going to show you how to do a thing in the back. So there's a way to change your chart, which I should have went over earlier. You can change the colors of your chart. You can change the colors of your candles. And you do that through the chart properties. So there's 2 ways you can do that. You can right click anywhere on the screen and go down to settings right here. Or you can come up to the same little cog up here and click chart properties. And that will bring us up to this menu right here. If you go to appearance, you can change your background to white if you want. I think when you first sign in, it might be at white. So you can change, if you don't like that, it's too bright for me, that's why mine is black. But you can change it to gray, you can change it to green, you can change it to yellow, whatever color you want. I have mine on black. Also, if you want to get rid of the grid lines. So if I put my grid lines on, I believe when you first sign in, this is what your chart may look like with all the grids on there. If that's bothering you, all you have to do is change the vertical and the horizontal grid lines to whatever your color your background is. So my background is black, so I just change both of the lines to black and they disappear. Okay. If you want to change your candlesticks, you want to go to symbol. Now mine's are green and red, but if you wanted to change your bullish candles, which is my green candles, to yellow, you can do that. Or if you want to change it to blue, you can do that. Some people do their favorite colors, some do their Greek affiliate colors, you know, whatever you want to do. As long as you understand what the colors stand for. Okay, so that's how you change your candlesticks in your background.
Hey T, do you think it'd be a good idea to put the watermark on or no?
I don't put it on, I can show them, but I don't put it on mine. But in
Okay.
order to do your watermark, that's actually what I came here to show. You want to come down to watermark. And what the watermark shows you is it shows the name, the hour, and the hour chart that you're on. It's distracting to me. It's hard. I think it distracts you from looking at the candlesticks. You have the same information up at the top. And during this training, I'll let you know, we're going to be on EU all night. So you don't have to worry about it. And I will tell you the different time frames. But if you want to do it when you're trading, all you have to do is come to the chart settings and click the watermark box. And that will put it on there. All right, any questions on changing
Yeah.
your appearance of your chart?
Not changing the appearance, but I have bars at the bottom of my chart.
That is the volume probably. So if you come up to under, you look where the price is, Like, does it look like that? Somewhat, mine is in a line chart.
Yes, but they're bars.
Okay,
Yes.
so if you come up to the top left corner, you should see a little word that says volume.
Mm-hmm.
If you hover over that, you'll see a little eyeball, a little cog, and an X.
Right.
Okay, so if you want to remove the volume, you click the X. If you want to keep it on but just don't see it, you click the eyeball and it hides it.
Okay.
Okay, did that get rid of it?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Anybody else? Okay, good, good, good. All right, so right now we're on the 4-hour chart. So if you're following along with me, I want you to go to the 4-hour chart. And we're on EUR USD. So
Hi, can I
this
ask
is,
a question?
yes.
So I'm on where it's on the top where it's EUR USD.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see the timeline for mine. I see the
You mean these right
candlestick.
here?
I see a D and then I see candlesticks, but I don't, mine don't
Okay.
look like yours.
So what you want to do, this is because these are my favorite time
Okay.
frames, so I
Okay.
have them starred. So what you want to do is you want to come down to this little drop down menu arrow thing. Do you see it?
No, so what?
Next to the D, you should see like a little arrow pointing down. If you click it, it'll bring down a drop down menu.
So I don't have an arrow that's going down. I just got a D and then I got the candlesticks.
You can
And then I
click
got a
on the
plus
D.
compare.
Yeah, click on the D and it'll give you the rest of the options.
Okay, so and then you just put in, do you just put in the ones that you
And
want?
then once you get the drop down, you can just choose whichever. And if it's something that you often trade, you highlight the star right here, and then it'll
Okay.
pop up in the box and look like mine.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
All righty. Great questions, guys. All right, so we're on a 4-hour chart on EUR USD. On the 4-hour, you want to identify key support and resistance levels. Now, very quickly to go into a support and resistance. An easy way to think about it is a floor and a ceiling. So let me get my, so imagine you're in a hallway. And this is you right here. And you have a ball in your hand. And you bounce this ball down this hallway. What do you think the ball will do?
Go up and down.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So it's gonna probably look something like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So basically, imagine the ball is price. This is what price does. The top of the ceiling is what we call a resistance zone. So that equals the ceiling. Okay, let me make that bigger for you. The bottom is what we call a support. So price will bounce back and forth between a resistance and support zone until it either breaks through, until it either breaks through resistance or it breaks through the support. But ideally it's going to bounce right back and forth. So this is why it's important for us to identify key resistance and support zones. So the thing to remember is if it's below, that means price has come down and it cannot go down. It's not letting it go down any lower. So basically it's supporting price. When it goes up, it's meeting resistance, meaning it's not letting price go any higher. That's why we call it resistance. And it'll make it go back down. So any questions on that so far?
Now how are you writing? You're doing this diagram.
Okay,
Oh,
so the
fine.
tools I used.
Yep.
I used the brush to draw my pictures.
Okay.
So that just draws your picture, okay?
Okay.
And the text tool is under where it says T.
Yep.
If you hit on that and there's a little arrow, or you hit on the T, you'll get a menu and you'll see text. So that's what I use to type the text out.
Thank you.
So if you choose text, like if I go and I choose T and I
Uh-huh.
click anywhere on the screen, it'll make a text box like that.
Got it.
And you can change you can take away the border. If you're writing a lot, you can wrap the text. So you can change it all around. So that's how you do that. Good questions. Any other questions on the difference between resistance and support? Again, it will go in very detail in the back office. So you definitely want to go and look at those courses.
Yep.
I'm only basically brushing the concepts, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now that you understand, have a general idea of what support and resistance is, that is the what we're marking. So an easy way for you to mark your support and resistance. I highly recommend this for newbies, especially if you're just starting. The candles can be a little confusing, a little intimidating. So it's much easier if you go to a line chart. So in order to change that, you want to come up to where it showed the candlesticks probably on yours. You want to click that and the drop down menu will come down. And you just want to go down to your line chart and it should look like this. Yours might be a different color, but it should ideally look like a line chart. All right, is everybody following?
Yep.
All righty. So the reason why the line chart is easier to use because it takes out all the noise. The points are basically where the candle wicked at. And that shows you where price has hit either a support or resistance, ideally. So what you want to do in order to identify key support and resistance zones, you want to look for areas where price has gone multiple times. And when I say has gone, I mean like it has hit and then gone a different direction multiple times in that same area. The tool that I use to mark my support and resistance is the horizontal line. So if you come down to the second category on the left and you come down the horizontal line, that's where you will find it. And then you want to look for areas where price has gone to repeatedly. So if you look here, actually, I'm going to use the brush real second so I can point out to you guys. Price hit here. It hit there again. Then it kind of went up here. Then it came down and it hit in that same exact area again. Do you guys see that?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then guess what? It came down and then it came back up and then it hit in the same area again right here.
Yeah.
So that will tell you that this is a key level, meaning price loves to come to this area. So it is an important area for us to mark off. And another good way to look at it is, for one, you want to make sure it has hit there at least twice. If it hasn't, it's not a valid level. If it has hit there more than twice and it also has served as a support and a resistance, and what I mean by that is if I take this horizontal line and I put it right here, you'll see remember when I said if price is above it and it comes down, it's serving as a support. So right here is serving as a support. Let me get my arrow. So right in this area right here, and then to get that arrow, guys, I just came down to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th category. It's the same category where the text is, and I just came down to arrow marker. Okay, now I'm gonna use my text box, and you click right where you want it to go, and I'm gonna put support right here. So price came down, and it couldn't come down any lower, and it went back up. So this is where it's serving as a support. The same thing.
You said I have to do that twice, right? So
for it to be, yes, for you to identify as a valid level. If it just comes down once and it never comes back to that area again, it's not a valid key level.
So do you have it 3 times? Are you calling it support or just 2? 3?
It'll be used interchangeably. So
Okay.
I just pointing out the times where it actually hit it.
Okay.
Like right here, in these 2 areas, it served as a support.
Gotcha.
That's what I was trying to mark out. okay? However, if you look here, remember what I said? The bar will go up and down until it either breaks up, breaks through the resistance and goes up, or it breaks through the support or the floor and goes down. So
Right.
here it came down, it went back up, went back down, then it came all the way back down again, retested, went back up, then it came back down again. And guess what? It broke through. You ever hear that saying? I used to hear this a lot from the traders. You keep coming to the barbershop, you're gonna eventually get a haircut, right? So you keep coming, price gonna keep coming, hitting this area. Eventually it's not gonna be able to be supported because it's gonna break through. The same as if it was doing it above. So here it breaks down, it breaks through, it came down, it came back up, and guess what? It got rejected here. So now this has turned into, can somebody tell me?
The ceiling
Is
Amen.
turned into.
Yes, it came as a ceiling, right, or resistance. So now in this area, it's turned into a resistance because price is below it and then try to come up to break through and it resisted it and sent it back down. Is this making sense to everybody?
Yeah.
Right, all right. Any questions, let me know. So when you have zones like that, that is an excellent indicator that you have a great zone. So you want to look for at least 2 hits. That means price came down to at least twice. And if you see a zone where it served as support and then came back and served as resistance, that is an excellent key level to mark off. And basically all you want to do is keep doing that over and over again. So you want to get your horizontal line and you want to just keep marking off key levels. So again, I said, and I also want to say, do not be discouraged if it doesn't make sense right now, or if you're having trouble marking these, because it takes practice. You know, you want to keep practicing, you want to keep going over your class in the back office, and I promise you, it will start to click. So again, here, if you're wondering why I marked it right here, price served as a resistance right here, and then guess what? Price came up, came back down, and now it's serving as a support.
Can I ask a question?
So you have 1 hit, you have 2 hits, and now it was serving as a resistance before, now it's serving as support. Then it came back down over here and hit it again. So that lets you know that that's a valid and key level. Is everybody understanding that concept? Because that's very important. I want you to really understand that.
Okay, because it hits the line, it makes it because it hits that line, makes it a support.
Well, you don't want to just concentrate on the line. It came back in that, I would say,
Back down.
area.
Okay. 3 times, basically. When it does, it looked like it did it 3 times, like a bounce.
Right. Why is this not going away?
Which was where you at? Well, you got the 3 circles. 1, 2 at the support line, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, and then when I'm a little bit confused about when it got to, you said a resistance where it looked like it's going up and down. Like, with a resistance up to your right, where you got resistance at?
Right here?
Yes. Now, is up and down makes it a resistance, or is it cutting through?
All right, so let me make it big for
Thank
you.
you. Yes.
Is that better?
That's better. Yeah.
So what makes it a resistance is price came down. So this is the line right here.
Right.
It broke through right here and came down below this level right here. And then it came back up to try and retest it. That is what makes it a resistance, because it never came back above this line. It came back a little bit. And what you will see is, like I said, the points are where it wicked at. So ideally, when a candlestick is forming, price opens up at a certain point and it either goes up, depending on whether it's a bullish candle, or price goes down if it's a bearish candle. So it goes up and it goes down, and sometimes price cannot sustain itself at a certain level, so the price might come back down. That is why you might see lines. So if I change this to the wicks, to the regular candles, you see these little lines above the candle bodies?
Okay.
How did you get the wicks back?
You go to candles.
Oh, got it.
I went to candles.
Yeah.
Okay. So these wicks show you where price has been. but it couldn't sustain there. So when this candle, let's say this is a bullish candle, which means, does anybody know what a bullish candle means?
I look at my notes, but I got it. Oh,
Price
wait a
is
minute.
If it's a bullish candle, that means price is doing what?
Going up.
Price going
Up.
down.
Yes,
Going
no,
up.
price is going
Price going
up,
up.
That's a
okay?
buy.
So in a bullish candle, price is going up.
Right.
So right here, when this candle opened, it came all the way up to this point right here.
Mhm.
But as for some reason, the bears came in and pushed price back down.
Okay.
And at the time, again, this is a 4 hours, so it took 4 hours for this complete candle to form. So at some point during that 4 hour, price came all the way up here, and then it came all the way down here. And then, but for whatever reason, it couldn't sustain there. So let's say it opened right here. It came all the way up. The bears pushed it down, and it came all the way down to here at some point during that 4 hours. And then it couldn't sustain down there because the bulls pushed it back up. And then eventually it closed right here before this next candle started. Does that make sense?
Okay, so it closed for next year. Okay.
So the body shows you where price ended up closing, and the wicks show you where price was at some point.
Okay. Making sense. Okay.
And this may be a good time to interject while Tira's talking about candles. That candlestick Bible is going to be your absolute best friend forever, because it tells you what price is doing and what it should look like. So make sure you're studying your candlestick Bible also.
Yes, you gotta know the candlesticks. So a good thing for you to know also, if you want to make sure that your zones are a good zone to mark. Now, actually, I don't do just lines. I actually do a zone, because what happens is sometimes price will come up and wick, and then it will go back the opposite direction, or maybe even the direction that you want to. So the wicks are important because they show you there are a sign of exhaustion. So that means price could not sustain itself in this area. And that is a good indication, along with other confluences, that price may be going a certain direction, right? So if it came down, so if price came up here, price is right here and it's coming up. This was a key zone right here. So it actually broke through right here. So right here was serving as a resistance because the price, it wouldn't go above that. It came back down, it got rejected. Price came back up and it broke through. Now, if you see when the candlesticks open, when this candlestick opened, it came below the zone, but it could not sustain it. It got pushed back up. That is a good indication that price is going to continue to go back up, because what price does when it breaks through a new zone, most times, and won't do it all the time, it will come back to that zone to retest it. So it came up and it closed right here. And this is what we call a what? Does anybody know what this red candle is? What's the term for it?
Bearish.
Yes. And what does bearish mean?
It's going down.
Going down.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
this candle opened right here and it came all the way down to here, but it could not sustain in this area. So it got rejected and it got pushed all the way back up to here. So this is what we call a retest. This is a, right here, this is a textbook example of a retest, meaning price broke through right here, came all the way up. Then when this candle opened, it looked like price was going to come back down below our level. But once the candle finished, you would have realized that it could not sustain itself behind this level, and that this level actually has become a support now because it pushed price back up, or it rejected the price. So when price tried to come back down, because a bearish candle goes down, right? It rejected it and pushed it back up. So this is the breakthrough. So this is the when it breaks through the zone, and then it came back to retest and it got pushed back and it got rejected. And then price continued to go up. So those are key things that you want to look for when you're going into trying to put in trades. And this is what we would call price action. We're not going to go over that today because that's a more complex concept. But these are indications of that we would put in a buy right here. So price broke through, You're not sure if it's gonna come back down or if it's gonna go up, but when this candle rejected and it pushed it back up, it tried to come down and it pushed it back up, that was a good indication that the price is gonna continue to go up. Okay, so, but right now we're doing support and resistance, so I don't wanna get away from that. You can, when you put your candlesticks on, you can see how price respects the zones that we made. So here, it respected it here. It respected it here. It came back and respected it here. So that's how you know that you're on the right track of making a good zone. Okay. Does anybody have questions about support and resistance? Because if not, we're going to move on to market structure. Oh, actually, we're going to finish that top down. All right, so once you do that, so let me erase all this stuff because it was tripping. I'm going to put the zones back. So I'm just going to make a couple of zones. You don't want to have a whole bunch of zones because it's just going to make your chart look crazy. So I'm just going to put one more. And again, I'm just looking for areas where price just loves to come back to. And I made those areas. Let me push this down. That's good. Okay. So once you identify your key levels on your 4-hour, you want to move down into your 1-hour chart. So again, you want to come up to the top. If you don't see the 1 hour, you want to click on whatever you have up there and it'll make the drop down menu. If you have time frames already saved up there, you should see a little drop down arrow and it'll bring down the different options. And you want to choose hour. Okay. And again, like if you're going to use these time frames a lot, you want to just go ahead and highlight the star and they'll put it up here and save it for you. So you don't have to keep going to the drop down menu. So right now we should be on the 1-hour chart on EU. So basically when you get to the 1 hour, you just want to make sure your levels are still respecting. So I could see we was on a completely different time frame when we made these levels. We were on a 4-hour, remember? Now, if you bring it down to the 1 hour, you can see price is still respecting. It's 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 still respecting right there. So that's how you know you have good zones once you start marking them up. And again, this will come with practice. So don't be discouraged if you don't understand or you don't know why. Just make sure you're writing down the criteria. You want to at least be 2 touches. So price had to come there at least 2 times and make it a valid zone. And the really good zones are the ones that serve as support and resistance. So support, price came up and it stopped it from going up at one time. And then it also served as a support. All right. So on the 1 hour chart, we're going to check our zones. And then this is where we're going to mark our trends. Now, there's a couple of things when it comes to marking your trend. You have a tool. That's the second section right here, and it has a trend line. So that's what we're going to be using when we make our trend line. But I like to make sure people understand how to look at a chart and know what the trend is going in, okay? So one thing that you can use to let you know what trend is in is an indicator called the 50 EMA. I use it on my chart, and I'm going to show you how to add it to your chart. So if you come up to the top, and you'll see FX indicators. Is everybody following me?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
so click on that box. Click on FX indicators. You'll see a little search box come up for indicators and strategies. I want you to type in moving average.
Can you show me again the indicators?
You come up to the top where you're going to see the name of the currency, the time, the candlesticks. You see, so click on that box. You'll have a search box come up and I want you to type in moving average. You want to choose exponential moving average. So again, you're gonna click on the box. In the search box, you're gonna type in moving average. And you're gonna come down to exponential moving average. And you're gonna click that. When you click that, it's gonna add it to your screen. So once you click it, you X out of that search box. And if you come over here to the left, oh, it's not gonna get bigger. To the left corner, you're gonna see it's gonna say EMA 9 close 0. Does everybody see that?
Yes.
No.
So if you don't see it, you might not have added it. So go back up to FX indicators, type in moving average, and you want to click on it. Click on moving average exponential.
And what's that for, Tara?
This is an indicator that will help you identify trends, price trends.
So when you put all these different things in, do they stay or are you supposed to save them?
No, they will. When you add an indicator, it will save up here. Now on the basic, I think you can only do 3 indicators at a time. So if you already have 3 indicators on there, then you're not going to be able to add a new one. You will have to get rid of one, and I will show you how to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so right now I want to show you how to set up your 50 EMA. So once you got that on here, you want to hover over EMA 9 where it says that. You will see an eyeball, right?
Yep.
You will see a little cog. You want to hit on the settings option, the little cog. When you hit on that, this box will come up where inputs and style.
Okay.
Is everybody there?
Yes, I see it.
All right. So in the style, this is where you can change the color. You can make it different things. I keep it as a line. I keep mine's blue, but you can change the color. You can change the line, and I keep the precision at default.
So on mine, I got input and styles, but I don't have that EMA on it.
So what is this? You mean right here?
It says indicator time frame, same as chart. Yeah, mine don't look like yours.
Okay, so does it look like
style?
Does it look like mine?
Yeah, it does over there.
Oh yeah. So hit style. There you go.
Got it.
So
Okay,
that's
now
how
it
you
looks
change.
like-
So this is where you want to change your color. You can make any color you want, and you can also make it any kind of line or circles or columns or whatever you want. The easiest way is to make it a line. Now click on inputs. You want to leave indicator time frame as it is.
Click on what? Inputs.
Inputs.
Oh God, I gotta go back. Okay.
So you want to keep this box open, keep the EMA box open. You just want to click on inputs. So we were on style to change the color. You want to click on inputs. Okay?
Yep.
All right. So you want to change that 9 to 50. Does everybody see that? Change the length. It was saying 9. You want to change that to 50.
Yep.
You want to keep your source at close. You want to keep your offset at 0.
Okay.
And then you're going to click OK. So if you want to take a screenshot, you can. Write your notes down. This is how it should look. And then we're going to click OK. And now it's going to set your EMA. Now, in order to use this, the 50 EMA basically averages out the last 50 candles. So it's going, the way it's going is showing you an average of what the last 50 candles are showing you. So the way you would use it to identify a trend. Now this is important. Everybody write this down.
Okay.
When the candlesticks are below the EMA 50, like in this area right here. You see how the line is? My line is right here. Let me make it, I can make it a little thicker. I think that makes it thicker. No, that doesn't.
Actually, it's your style. So hit that and then hit the blue box. And then
got it, yes. All right, so I'm gonna make it thicker for you. I don't like mine thick, but I'll make it so you can see it. So y'all see my blue line, right? So let's look at this area in particular. I'm gonna make it zoom in. So this area right here, when the candlesticks are below the 50 like it is here, that is an indication that you are in a downtrend. So if price is going down, what kind of trend is that?
Bearish.
Yes, a bearish trend. So if the candlesticks are below the EMA 50, that is an indication that price is currently in a downtrend or a bearish trend. That means price is going down. Okay. Now, if price is above, like this area right here, if price is above the EMA 50, that is an indication that we are in a downtrend. I'm sorry, an uptrend.
Uptrend.
And what is the name for an uptrend? Can anybody tell me?
Bullish.
Yes. That means it's in a bullish trend or price is going up. So you see how the EMA 50 can help you see, and I didn't even put on I didn't even put a trend line yet, but it's showing, but this is a good indication that, you know, if the candlesticks are above, we're going in an uptrend. And if it's below, we're going in a downtrend. Does everybody see that? All righty. So that is a good, I always keep the 50 on my list, on my chart, because it is a helpful indicator. And I showed you how to put it on. So if you didn't write it down or you didn't follow along, this is getting recorded so you can go back and look at it, okay? All right. So we're gonna start right here. So we already know this is the uptrend because the candlesticks are above the EMA. Now I'm gonna in order for you to get rid of the EMA, you can either hide it so that you don't see it, or you can actually remove the indicator altogether. If you remove it, you have to add it back like we just did before. So a lot of times if it's in my way or I need to see something else, if you click the eyeball, it hides it. So it's still on your chart, it's just you can't see it right now. And when you want to see it again, you just click the eyeball again and it'll put it back. Questions on that?
Kiara, if they can just check the notes also, I put some of that information in there so they can
Okay,
also add
so
the
guys,
questions
make sure
along.
you're checking the chat because they're typing information for you. So again, if you want to get rid of it, you want to hit the X. That's how you remove it altogether from your chart. If you want to just hide it, you hit the eyeball and it'll make it disappear. I'm going to hide it for now because I'm going to show you the proper way to draw a trend line. So again, we're going to use the trend line tool. That is the second section down. You click on it and it'll give you a drop down menu and you just choose trend line. Okay. Now,
which one you said?
the second one down.
Got it.
So you click that and you should see trend line. You got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So a trend line, when we're in an uptrend, now again, you guys should be writing this down. When we're in an uptrend, a trend line is basically a diagonal support. So what do I mean by that? That means price will go up and then it will come back down and test a support. And that is what makes your trend line. When you're looking at your trend line, the same thing applies. You want to take 2 points and connect them basically. So if I use this point right here, if you click right there, it's going to start your trend line. You just want to pull it up and connect it to at least one other point and then draw it into the future. So just pull it into the future. Okay. Now you can either do it to wicks or you can do it to body. It's whatever line fits. So I'm going to do that again. You want to go and get your trend line tool. A lot of people have trouble with trend lines, but it's really not that hard if you practice and you understand what you're looking for. So you get the trend line. Now, when price is going up, price will go up and then come back down and will go up and come back down because price rarely just goes straight up or straight down. It goes in waves. So it'll come up in one wave and then come back down, and it'll go up and then come down, come back down. So when it does that, it creates these little valleys, I guess you can say. And you want to connect two valley, at least two. If it connects more, then that's awesome. But at least two. If it does not connect, then it's not a valid trend line. It's just like the support and resistance, because a trend line is basically a diagonal support or resistance level. And what you want to see is that price will respect it. So I can even pull back from down here. And again, we're on a 1 hour time frame, guys. And I want to connect this one, and you want to keep dragging it, and you want to create now in this situation, like I said, sometime if you do wick to wick, it's not gonna connect. You want to use whatever connects, whatever line fits best. Now it might not always touch, like all points or all values, I should say, might not touch, and that's fine, because price is not going to always come back to one exact area. But as long as two candles or two valleys, or however you want to put it, is touching this trend line, it is considered a valid trend line. So you can either connect wick to wick, or you can do body to body. It's whichever the line fits best. Okay, so any questions to that? Again, this is going to come with practice. But again, if you're in a if the thing to remember is when you're in an uptrend, the trend line should be drawn below the candles. That is important.
Below the candles, okay.
In an uptrend, the trend line should be drawn below the candles. So in an uptrend or bullish trend, however you want to say it, the trend line serves as a support zone or support level, meaning price comes down, respects it, and then goes back up. It comes back down, respects it, and then goes back up. And again, price might not always come back to the trend line, but ideally, as you can see, it's still respecting it, because price has not broken this line right here. When it starts to break, like it does right here, that is an indication that the trend is changing. So now it was going up and going up, it came down and it broke through. And then it came back to retest the trend line right there. And then boom, it came down. So this is why the trend line is important, because it also can show you when the trend is changing. So does everybody understand that? Again, you might have trouble drawing it, but that is why I want you to practice. Practice, practice, practice. This skill set is not going to just come with you looking at stuff and looking at the classrooms. You have to practice. I'm telling you. And it will ease your anxiety, because once you start practicing and you start getting it and you start seeing your lines get respected, you'll get more confidence, and then the anxiety will go down.
And one of the things I want to add is what Tiara is showing you, even though it's taking us an hour, when you start practicing and get used to it, this top-down analysis should probably take you about 10 minutes tops.
Correct. But that's when you come with practice. So that's why it's important to practice. So for next week, I want everybody to practice. All right. So that is for an uptrend. So can somebody repeat to me where you're supposed to draw your trend line when it's an uptrend? What was that?
From wick to wick or body to body.
Right, but where under do you draw under the candlesticks or above?
Below
Under the candlestick. Below.
Right.
Below the candlestick.
Awesome. So I hope everybody's getting that. So let's go to a downtrend. So here we have a downtrend. Where do you think we're going to draw the trend line on a downtrend? At the top.
At the top.
Absolutely. So again, we're going to write notes. When you're in a downtrend, the trend line serves as a resistance, which means you draw it on the top. And you're going to do the same thing. In a downtrend, price is going down, then it comes up, then it goes down, it comes up. So it creates, I guess you can call mountains or hills. So you want to connect the top of the hills or mountains, however you want to do it to remind yourself or to help you understand, you want to connect those, and you want to be able to connect at least two to make sure it's a valid line. So again, we're going to get our trend tool, our trend line tool. If you want to start at the top, you start at the top and you just bring it down. So I did it from the wick and boom, look at that. I touched another wick. And you just keep bringing it down. Now, just if you imagine, now sometimes you got to adjust it. So even though I adjusted it like this, as you can, it's still touching too, right? It's touching right here and it's touching right here. So sometimes as price moves along, you have to adjust the line. But it's still valid as long as there's two things touching. So if I just drew it like this, now, you might think once it breaks through here, oh, we're going to be going into an uptrend. But this is why market structure is important. So these are all the things that you will be building to get a clear picture of what's going on. So when you draw this trend line, as you can see, price is respecting it so far. Then right here in this area, it breaks through. Now, this is why we also wait. Sometimes you have to sit on your hands because we don't want to guess what price is doing. We have to do a good analysis, and then based off that analysis, make an educated probability decision of where price is going to go. So up here, price made a high right here in this area because price was coming down and it came up. And it came up and it came down and it came up. So this area right here is very important because price kept coming here. So this is what we would call the last high, the last high point. Where's my text box? And the reason why this is important is because if you know market structure, price can come all the way back up to this area. And as long as it respects this area, we are still considered in a downtrend. So even if we're going down and we're going down, then we come all the way up, we should not be putting in buys. Not yet anyway. Because as you can see, price faked you out. When this broke right here, if you put in a buy right here, thinking that it went up just because it broke this trend line, you got faked out because it came up and then it went all the way back down. And it continued to go back down. This is why it's important to have more than one confluence. And a confluence basically is a confirmation. So what you can do is a lot of confirmation I use is market structure, support and resistance, and the trend. So I know because I had maybe I had the EMA, I know that we're currently down a downtrend, right? So, and then it's respecting my trend line. Great. I also know for market structure that this is the last high right here that price made. So I know that as long as price respects this zone, so I'm going to use a box. In order to get your box, I can't remember where it's at. I think it's here. So I'm going to get the rectangle box. This zone, I can pull all the way across. Price at any point can do what it wants, right? It's our job to try and figure out what it's trying to do, but it can do whatever it wants, okay? As long as price does not come up to this zone and break it, we are still considered to be in a downtrend. And that is why putting a buy right here, just because it broke the trend line, this is only one indication that the trend might be changing. But as long as I know that, okay, it didn't come up here, I might hold off on putting a buy. And then I will see after a couple more candles, it came back down below the EMA 50. What does it mean when the candlesticks are below the EMA 50?
It's going in a bullish or a bearish market.
Bearish.
It's a bearish market, correct. So if you just wait and you sat on your hands to wait to see what price did, you will see that it came back. This is a good indication of how brokers take people money. Because somebody who doesn't follow their confirmations and stuff like that, they will see this break here and they will put in buys thinking just because, oh, it's a green candle, oh, it broke my trend line, I'm gonna put in a buy. The broker just took all your money because you put in a buy here, and if you didn't put a stop loss or something, price came all the way back down, you was back in the negative. You understand that?
Yeah.
That is why it's important. Sometimes we have to sit on our hands. And you can't just look at a chart and say, oh, it's a green candle, I'm gonna put in a buy. You have to mark up your charts, and you should have confluences. At least, I have at least 3. So if I know if I'm all the way up here, say price is coming up, right? Then it starts going down. Okay, once it hits below my EMA 50, that's one indication. And it came back and respected it. To me, that's one indication that, okay, we're going in a downtrend. Then I can make my trend line, and I see that it's respecting the trend line. Then that's why, and then also it's respecting this zone right here. So it was serving as a support all this time. Then it broke down and it came back and respected it. It couldn't go back up. So now it's serving as a resistance. That's another indication. So this is why I say when your main components and showing, making your confluences should be the support and resistance zones, market structure, price trend. You can use all kind of different ones, but those are the major ones. Those are the ones that are going to help you make good trades. So when it came below the EMA 50, that's one indication that we're going in a downtrend. When it sat here and it respected this zone right here and it became a resistance, that's another indication. That's 2, right? Now it's respecting my trend line. That's 3. So that's a good indication that, okay, that we're going in a downtrend. So I'm going to put in for a sell. Because when it's bearish or it's in a downtrend, that's when we sell. That's when price is going down. When price is going up or it's an uptrend or a bullish trend, we buy. And you should not be counter trend trading. Sorry. That means you're going against the trend. So if you're in this area right here, and you know this is going in a downtrend, but let's say when price starts going back because it moves in waves, right? You put in a buy right here. I'm not saying you can't do it. What I'm saying is, look at the pips that you get for this versus the pips for all of this. So sometimes you got to be patient. This would be a good time to get in because you want to sell at the high point and you want to buy at the low point. So if you're in a downtrend, you don't want to enter a trade down here. You want to enter a trade when it reaches a high point and then sell down. Does that make sense?
Yes.
If you're in an uptrend, you don't want to buy, you don't want to sell when it's at a low point. You want to wait till it goes back up to the high point and then sell down. I meant, well, opposite, I'm sorry. When it comes down, when it goes up, you don't want to buy there because it's going to come down. You want to buy when it retraces and goes to the low point. That's what I meant to say. Okay, so I know this is a lot, but this is what it basically comes down to when you're doing your top-down analysis and when you're deciding what your trade is. So really quickly, just for the sake of time, we're going on an hour and a half. Once you do your 4 hour and your 1 hour, you just want to go down to the 15-minute and the 5-minute to look for entries. So when you're ready to enter a trade or you're looking to enter a trade, you want to come down. Some people use a 15-minute. I use the 5-minute. You want to come down to the 5-minute. And that's where you would enter your trade. But up in the, you want to identify your trends and your key zones on the higher time frames because the higher time frames are more accurate. They're a better reflection of market structure and the price trend. Okay, is there any questions so far? I'm gonna go over one last thing and then we're gonna just take questions and then we're gonna end it for the night. Is there any questions about what we've gone over so far?
Oh, but this sure has cleared it up for me. Ooh, thank you.
All right. So the last thing is also another concept that will be considered part of market structure. And it's also a way for you to identify what kind of trend price is actually in. So let's take this uptrend. Again, we had our trend line, right? I showed you how to draw that. I showed you the EMA, which is a good indicator. Now I'm going to show you how you can look at market structure. So when price is going up or when it's going in a bullish trend, I need you guys to write this down. When price is going in a bullish trend, it makes higher highs and higher lows. Again, when price is going in an uptrend or a bullish trend, it makes higher highs and higher lows. So what do you mean by that, Sierra? I'm about to show you. If I take in my arrow, we can start here. So the downtrend, let's start right here. So we're starting at a low point. So this is the first low, let's say. Shoot. Right? And I'm just going to get my text. This is the starting point. This is our low. Once price starts going up, you will know that this is an uptrend because now price should make a higher low and a higher high. So the next high, the next low, actually it just respects that same one. But this low right here is the next one. Right, so as you see, price came up and then it came back down to here. Is this low right here where my arrow is pointing, is that a higher point than the first low or original low?
Higher.
Yes.
Exactly.
Higher.
Exactly. So this made a higher low. Now guess what? If I just keep going up, you're going to see the same thing over and over again. So I made a low right here. Is this a higher low right here?
Yes. Yes.
So that is what I mean when I say higher low. We can do the same for the highs. So let's say our high point, our starting high point is right here. So this is our starting high point. The next high point, because somebody, oh well, it might not be hard for you to tell me, but this is the next high point right here.
Yep.
Is this point higher than the original high?
Yes.
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 So this is what I mean by higher high. And if I keep going, I can keep going all day. The next one, boom, right there. Is this high higher than the last one?
Yes.
Yeah.
All day. You want me to go again?
No.
Boom, right
Yeah.
there. Do y'all see that?
Yep.
Uh-huh.
A higher high. So that is an indication that price is going in an uptrend because it's going to continue to make higher highs and higher lows. Now, it's the same thing for a downtrend. Hopefully I can get rid of this stuff. Okay, great. So let's say we start up at the top, right? Let's say this is our first low. Now, in a downtrend, price, now write this down. In a downtrend or a bullish trend, price is going to make lower lows and lower highs. Again, in a downtrend or a bearish trend, price is going to make lower lows and lower highs. What do you mean by that, Tara? Well, I'm about to show you. This is the first low. Well, this is the beginning of the trend. So the next low is right here. Is this low lower than the first one?
Yes.
So that is what I mean by when I say it makes a lower low. And you can just follow the trend all day. It wicked right here. It made a lower low. Is that low lower than the last one?
Yes.
And it just keeps going. So the same for the highs. And this is, after this, I'm gonna wrap it up and then we'll just take questions for a little bit and then we're gonna end the training. So I made a high up here. You can't really see, it's just one little candle. So we'll use that as the beginning. And the next high it made was down here. Is that high lower than the last one? It made it like right here. So you can just say this whole area. Is this high right here lower than the last high?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So are you guys getting this? So that's what I mean by lower high. So as long as you understand that in a downtrend, price makes lower highs and lower lows, and in an uptrend, it makes higher highs and higher lows, that will also help you to recognize market structure, meaning where price is going. If you're just looking at a chart and you're looking at the candlesticks, any one confirmation is really not going to be a really good analysis. You want to at least have 3. So even if you come to a chart and you see it's currently making a green candle and you're like, oh, I'm gonna put in a buy. That's not what you should be doing. That's just guessing, pretty much. That's just gambling. You want to look at the whole, you want to get a whole picture so that you know that you're making the right trade. And again, if you're I'm not saying you can't counter trend trade. A lot of people do it. But when you look at the grand picture of doing like a buy right here and getting this versus getting a sell all the way from up here and then going all the way down, you're gonna get way more pips. So if you just be patient and let this retrace and respect this trend line, this will be a good time to get in. So if you're in a downtrend and it retraces back to a high point, that's where you will put in for a sell. Because what do? We sell at the high and we buy at the low. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So instead of you buying for this and doing a counter trend trade, I would wait. And once it start to respect here, I would put in for a buy. I mean, for a sell right here. Or you could have came down and once it started to retrace, you could have put in a sell for here. So I can show you the entries. You could have entered right here. You could have entered right here. Right here. Oh gosh, right here. Anytime it retraced and went up, you could have gone in for a sell rather than buying on that little counter trend and got a whole way more entries and way more pips. So that's all I have. I went over basically everything I wanted to go over. Are there any questions?
Where will you be able to find the this recording again, please? I know I'm going to go back over.
I will drop it in the group.
Okay, thank you.
Once it uploads to the cloud and stuff. Any other questions?
So now that we have our user ID for TraderView, we can go into TraderView in the back office and sign in.
No, TradingView is separate from your back office. It's just a website. So if you wanted to get on the charts and practice charting, you would just go to www.tradingview.com and then you will pull up your charts.
Okay.
Any other
Thanks.
questions?
Well, I don't have a question, but I would definitely like to thank you for this training because it definitely cleared up a lot of stuff.
You are very welcome.
It definitely has.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much.
You are very welcome.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Yeah, thank
No
you.
problem. And I am considering doing this on a weekly basis. I mean, we had a great response tonight, so,
Yeah, you should.
okay. I was about to say, I would do a poll, but I mean, if I get good feedback, then, you know, we can try and make this a weekly thing so that we can work on, really charting. But I want you guys to really practice, because as we go on, if we're gonna do it weekly, I'll start calling on people to show me that they're actually getting it. Because you can listen to me talk all day, but if you can't apply it, it's not gonna make a difference. Applied knowledge is power. You have to be able to apply it.
Yep. So Tiara, on mine on the bottom, it doesn't have, you know where you got 5, 6, 7, 8? Mine
Right
got
here?
like long lines coming up. Am I missing something at the bottom? And on the side, I don't see the numbers that you have.
This is just the
So you know where you got your 18, well, 28 now, 2021.
oh yeah, that's where the yeah, this is the I never noticed those numbers down here actually.
Yeah, because I have like, look like candlesticks at just coming up out of the bottom.
And she still
Oh,
got her
that's your
volume on.
volume.
Oh,
So you can
so
turn
can
the volume off. You will hover up here on the left side where it says VOL, and you can either
Huh?
take it off and hit the X, or you can hit the eyeball and it'll make it disappear.
Got it. Okay, and then the numbers on your side, should I, because I don't have any of them numbers.
What on
Oh,
what
it
side?
says USD.
This is
minus
so the way you do that is you start it. So you would, do you just have one time period up there?
So no, I got 5 minutes, 15 minutes.
Okay,
now.
so do you have this little arrow right here next to it?
I do now.
Okay, so hit that and you'll see the drop down. The reason
Yep.
why you see 5 minute, 15 minute, 1 hour, those are the time frames I trade all the time.
Yep.
So in order for you to save it for your favorites, all you would have to do is highlight this star right there. If you click
Yeah.
it, it'll highlight.
Yeah,
And it'll
so
add it,
I did.
and
I
it'll
got
add
the-
it to your box.
Yep, I do. They're on top.
Okay?
Okay.
Any other questions?
So how do we get the numbers on the right side with it yellow highlighted?
Yeah, that's what I was asking. I don't have them numbers.
You don't, so I think
It's
someone said if
probably
you right
because
click
they're-
over there.
Oh,
Right click. Yeah.
Do you see all the options on my screen?
Yep, I see reset on mine. Yep, yours. I don't see autofill though. I got right
All right,
after
did
reset
you try
chart.
did you try reset? Do you see the prices now?
Nope. You want me to hit reset?
You know what it is, Tira? If their chart is say black and their numbers are
Oh,
black,
right.
so they got to make their numbers
yep.
white.
So you have to change the. You go to.
I think it's appearance. And it's scale text. It's the color.
Yes.
Go to
So
settings.
if you go to chart settings, so if
Yep.
you don't remember, you can either right click
Got it.
on somewhere on the screen.
Yep.
And go down to settings, or you can hit this little cog up here.
Yep.
And the chart properties will come. You want to go down to appearance. And go down to scales text. Now, what color is your background?
Black.
So you want to change the scale text to something other than black.
Well, oh, okay, wait, can I change that color? Oh, got it.
Yeah, you want to make it lighter because it's blending in with your background.
Right.
You're right.
Yeah, have it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep,
You're
thank
welcome. Any other questions?
Can you go to your scale setting and from the chart setting and scales? Well, you see appearance and then you have
Oh,
scale.
scales. Yes.
I just want to make sure that I have the same ones that you have, because again, my numbers aren't coming up like oh, I see you got value according.
So you got it?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions?
And you said this will save when we go out of it, right?
We'll save on my computer, and so I will drop it in the group. You're talking about the recording, right?
No. When we close out of Trading View, what the stuff that we got up now, the way we got it set up, will it save or we have to?
Oh yes, it
another
automatically
time?
saves. If you go over up here to this top right corner where the lines are,
Yep.
click on that. Oh, wait a minute.
Where it says save layout.
Yeah, and there it goes. You should have an auto save option. Cut that on.
So it's blue, so it's on. Yeah.
Yes, so that means it automatically saves. So if I was to exit out of here, right?
Yeah.
If I went back in there, as you can see, my stuff is still there.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Yep.
And if you want to get rid of the drawings, like you just want to have a clear chart, you want to hit this little garbage box. That's the easiest way to clear everything, and it removes all your stuff.
Where's your garbage box, you said?
On the left side where all the other tools are, you go all the way down to the bottom. There's a garbage pail.
Got it.
And to get rid of the EMA, you hover over EMA, and you can hide it with if you hit the eyeball, and you can get rid of it with the X.
And one of the things I want to add about your favorites, which Tara will probably go over it next week. Some of these indicators that she showed you, you can save them, but if you have a basic account, you can only show 3 at one time on any chart.
Right.
So like Tara, if you hit the word FX indicators for me at the top, and then hit favorites. Oh wait, where's yours? So when I hit my FX, my favorites come up. And it allows me to save every favorite I ever had. And I can use them when I want to. So you don't have to always go search for them. You can have them. So mine's is built in. I don't know where yours is. FX. Yeah, see, I have a favorite.
We'll look into that for next time. But for now, you can only use, I told them that earlier, you can only have 3 at a time on your chart if you're a basic one. Once you upgrade to a pro, then you can add up to 5, I believe.
And how much is the pro?
Last time I checked, it was $14.99. I don't know a month.
Okay.
I don't know how much it is now. And you can do either a yearly or a monthly. So if you go into your account, it'll tell you how much it is to upgrade.
So after the 30 days, or will they change it on you, or will they let you know?
The 30-day trial is when you upgrade. So the basic will just stay free.
Okay.
When you upgrade to a pro, then you will have a 30-day trial where they wouldn't charge you. And then once the 30-day trial ends, then they'll start charging you whatever you choose, whether it's monthly or yearly.
But for beginning people, should we just do the free one right now?
The basic is perfectly fine starting off.
Yeah, okay.
Because when you're starting off, you're not going to have a whole bunch of indicators. You're not going to have a whole bunch of currencies, because you should be picking 3 and really studying those 3.
Okay.
And learning your peers and stuff like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
That was good. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for all the participation. I hope you learned something. I hope you took notes. Again, once the recording finishes, I will drop it in the groups.
Quiet.
So it doesn't look like there's any information. Thank you, Twanda, Tiff, and Katrina for answering questions. And I will see you guys next time. Make sure you are practicing, practice. If you haven't already got your account, sign up for it now and start looking at your charts and getting familiar with it. And just go ahead and apply all the stuff that you learned tonight. Okay?
Good training, Tara.